Hnry is an accounting software provider for freelancers specifically. In addition to the traditional accounting things like invoicing and reporting and so forth, they also handle your tax for you. And that brings me to Hnry's homepage, which is one of the best homepages I've ever seen. It says, "Never think about tax again. Hnry automatically pays and files taxes for self-employed Kiwis." So that "never think about tax again" headline immediately speaks to a huge problem that freelancers face. Tax is a burden. It is not just a time-consuming burden. It's also a mental load, and it's stressful. You have to put this money in a bank account and hope you calculated it right by the time it comes around to pay it. It's just a huge pain. So they're making this promise, which they deliver on, which is you don't even have to think about it. And then they tell you what they do. Hnry automatically pays and files taxes for self-employed Kiwis. So that's telling us what they do and who they do it for. So it's just hitting those three things that a homepage headline needs. What do you do? Who do you do it for? Why do they work with you? And that "why do they work with you" is a really interesting one in this case because it's actually not that driven by the copywriting. It is great copywriting because it really shines a light on this pain, but they're able to do that because of the business and product decisions they've made. Rather than just be an accounting software provider for small businesses, for example, which is very broad, Hnry has actively chosen to solve this big problem for a narrow group of people, self-employed people like freelancers. So by doing that, that gives them the ability to be a lot more specific than other software providers can be on their homepages. The more narrow your audience, the more specific and exact you can be in your copywriting. So it is great copywriting, but the reason they can do that great copywriting is because of the kind of business they run. And I think that's a really good example of how these two things work together. And by having those two things work together, they've been able to write the best homepage headline I've ever seen.